don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Work it!
Perry! Perry! Perry!
Oh, whoa! Whoa! Man, that was good. Better show guest, Ron Magill or Tim Kirchin?
Ooh. Oh, wow, man.
Ooh.
Oh, man, I don't want to insult one of those guys.
I am. I'm scared right now because Ron Magill's next, isn't he? Isn't Ron Magill next?
Yeah.
Woo! And Tim Kirchin.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Kirchin's tomorrow. Today, Magill. Tomorrow, Kirchin. That's how I'm going to go.
I mean, the two of them are the most beloved we've got, right? It's those two. Like in terms of consensus love. You can't get consensus love for anybody in 2000.
It's those two and M Shadows.
Ron Magill or Tim Kirchin. You have to pick one. That's what the magic creative content is demanding it.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to answer this question. It's Ron Magill. For me, Ron Magill. I love Tim. No more diluters, though. Tim knows where I stand. Ron Magill's our best guest.
Kirchin. Richard Lewis.
Magill.
But I got to go with Kirch.
John Lovitz.
I go Magill. I saw a video the other day, Ron, of a guy in a barn, and he just sort of clapped his hands, and about 200 ducks, it looked like, although it may have been chickens, gathered in formation, and they looked like a marching army headed to destroy someone. I'm sure they had just been taught to feed like that. What's the most unusual situation where you've seen of animals being trained?
Well, there's this hippo that was raised in Africa, and hippos are literally the most dangerous animal in Africa. More people are killed and injured by hippos than any other animal in Africa. This family raised this hippo to full size to where they let it walk into their house. It walks into the kitchen. It walks by the dining room table. They feed it heads of lettuce, and the thing is just walking through a house like a bull in a china shop, but it's not breaking anything. It's like a gentle, huge dog. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find it, this tame hippo walking through house. It's unbelievable. This older gentleman just kind of raised this animal, and it just shows that sometimes you can get these incredible bonds that are inexplainable. Listen, I am not endorsing that by any stretch of the imagination. There's another guy who works in Africa who kind of has made himself part of a lion pride, where he goes in with these lions, a pride of lions, and he does the same thing with hyenas. Now, if you talk to him, he will tell you, this is probably going to cause my death one day. But until then, he does this amazing. He has this amazing rapport with these animals. That is, to me, it's such an exception as opposed to the rule. What scares me, Dan, is that people look at this stuff and they go, "You see, I can do that. I can love my animal. It's going to love me the same way." And that's ludicrous. It's just a time bomb.
But Ron, I've walked through that zoo with you. I've walked through Miami Zoo with you, and you have bonds with a lot of the animals. It's amazing, real bonds.
But do you have one like that, Ron, that even you think is weird? You've told us about the bonds you've developed at the zoo, because you've also been bitten by a gator. There have been some times where you've been, if not reckless, you've been dumb.
Right, exactly. I've been, young and stupid, and that testosterone makes you think you're immortal and you do stupid things, and I've got more stitches on my body than I can count because it was always my fault. Now, having said that, I remember there was one time we had a tigress. The first tigress born here at the zoo back in the early 80s. Her name was Natasha, and I remember I felt I had a bond with her. She would always chuff when she saw me. She just, it's kind of a greeting in tiger. And when she had her cubs, Dan, one of the most moving moments I've ever had in my life, as I went back into her den area, and tigers are incredibly defensive when they have cubs. They get crazy. You can't even get near them. And she saw me, and she chuffed. And I sat down at the outer end of the den area. She went back into the den, which is dark and enclosed in the back, and she brought the new cub in her mouth, walked it over to me, and dropped it right in front of me for me to see it. And I'm telling you right now, I get misty-eyed thinking about it because it was like she was sharing something so special with me. Now, would I ever go in with that tiger? There were times when I thought, I'm sure I could go in there where she would never hurt me, but that would be the dumbest thing I could ever do. But yet she brought that cub to me and laid it down right in front of me so I could see it. Those types of moments are priceless. Again, though, you cannot be lured into thinking, oh, she's your friend. You can go in there and play with her. She's your pet. No. There's that old saying, you can take an animal out of the wild. You can never take the wild out of the animal.
Would you guys agree back there that in 2018, the thing roaming the earth most like a 2018 Tarzan is Ron Magill? That if you had he's a giant man. He's got a mustache. He's wiry, and the animals do things like that around him.
Yeah, but he's not wild enough. Manny the Sharkman Puig is like a real wild boy.
Right, yeah. I would say pre-marriage, like Ron told me stories about when he got married. His wife said, "You're not doing any of this stuff ever again." Like, period, end of discussion, we're done, right?
This is neutered Tarzan?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a neutered Tarzan situation.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
All right, very good. Tom, you're on with neutered Tarzan on ESPN Radio. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, shoot. I gave the name Bob. Mr. Miguel.
You changed your name? Hold on a second.
Bombardier.
What happened? And you called him Mr. Miguel.
What the hell's your name, dude?
Bob.
Mr. McGill.
All right, you changed your name to Tom because you don't want people to know that Bob is making this phone call. Okay, Bob, what is your question?
What's a cooler animal, the bombardier beetle or the pebble toad?
Okay, I understand your shame now.
Oh, my God. Next.
Okay, but you don't know what is the cooler animal? I don't know those animals. Pebble toad. I don't know.
I don't know what a bombardier beaver is.
All right, Jeff, you're on. Jeff, it's a beetle. It's not a.
Oh, a beetle.
Yes, it's a
beetle.
It's a beetle.
Oh, it's probably going to be the beetle. Beetles are so cool. There's so many different kinds of beetles in this world, and they all have such incredible behaviors and colors and shapes and sizes. I'm going to go with the bombardier beetle.
Andy, you're on with Married Tarzan. Go ahead, Andy.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Tim, I was wondering, who would win in a race, Guillermo, that Chris, or a cheetah with a broken foot?
Okay, an average human
It's a
being
good question.
to an above-average human being speed against a cheetah with a broken foot. What do you got, McGill?
I will give the cheetah with 3 legs.
Oh, a three-legged cheetah, not even using the fourth leg.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not fair,
Absolutely.
though, because the broken leg would be hurting him when he's running. So if he has no leg, he doesn't feel the pain. That's a different game.
Well,
Ron.
no, but he's
Okay,
saying.
but let me explain something to you. Wild animals do not feel pain the way you and I do, in the sense that, especially when it comes to a matter of survival, and it's an adrenaline rush. So I'm talking about a cheetah with an adrenaline rush. I'm not talking about a cheetah that you can say, okay, we're going to break your foot, now you got to race this guy. No, this is a cheetah. You're racing for your life. Okay, you're racing for your life. The cheetah kills him.
Let me also explain something to you. $2. Let's check out this video right here. Let's check out this video.
Okay.
Ron Magill doing play-by-play. Ron Magill of a video that he's got on his computer. Go ahead, Ron.
Right. Okay. So we're looking at this thing, and there's a wasp sitting on a leaf. I don't know. It seems like. Oh, jeez! Oh my God! This flower looked like an orchid. Oh, it's an orchid mantis. This orchid mantis grabbed this thing.
Wow.
Holy
Wow.
jeez! Praying mantis have the greatest camouflage of any animal on Earth. Google them, and you look. Some look like leaves. Some look like orchids. This looks like an orchid. Just fantastic.
That
Man,
right
nature
there
is
was
amazing.